Hello, everyone. This is Troy Harper. Welcome to Harper Cigar Lounge. This is episode 11, and it's been long awaited, that's for sure. Couldn't wait to get down here to hang out with you guys again in my cigar lounge. And I hope you guys are somewhere that's relaxing. Hope you got a great drink, great smoke today as well that you can enjoy while you're watching this and while you're hanging out with me. Great to be here with you guys today, and thank you again for everyone that's been following me and supporting me on this project, that I should say, with the whole Harper Cigar Lounge Facebook page and the podcast on YouTube. I appreciate all you guys have joined the Harper Cigar Lounge Facebook group page. We have around 342 members now. Last time when I did the last podcast, which was episode 10, I had recorded that on April 6th, and we had 300 members at that time. But yeah, so now we're up to 342, which is great. Actually, it's 344 now. I just checked my page, and we're up to 344 members now. So that's great, guys. Thank you, and I'm glad you guys are a part of this. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. And you guys are family to me, and I don't take that lightly. You guys are very dear to my heart, and I appreciate you guys being a part of this. So, but I do want to say hi to some of the newest members. And if I don't call your name, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to everybody on each show to thank everybody that's new to this and being a part of this. Um, but I'll try to get to your name, and if I don't mention you, you're just as much appreciated, and you know who you are. And again, thank you very much, guys. But anyway, first person I want to say hi to is Eric Ortiz, and next one I want to say hi to is Daniel Patrick Cigars. Um, let's see here, Orlando Gee, Road Smokes, and let's see here, LY Cigars. And let's see here, Cuba Benitez. I want to say I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I'm sure, but thank you guys. I want to say hi to you, and want to say hi to my family and friends that are out there watching as well. Want to say hi to you guys. Anyway, love all of you. God bless you, and thank you again for being a part of this today. And hope you guys have a great time today. So anyway, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys about the cigar I'm smoking today. It's the KO Italia Piazza, and that looks just like this. It's a 6x60 Gordo, and I'll tell you a little bit about the cigar. I have not smoked this cigar before. I've had it in my humidor for probably a couple months now, and so I've been waiting anxiously to smoke this one with you guys. Hope it's a great one. The reviews are great. There's no bad reviews at all. It's a 5-star rating on the cigar. So anyway, but the wrapper is Honduran Habano. The binder is Nicaraguan. The filler is Italian, Nicaraguan, and Peruvian. And it's originated from Honduras, and it's a Gordo, like I said, and it is considered to be full flavored. So probably not recommended for a beginner. One of these times I'll have to do an episode where I've got a cigar that's for beginners. Maybe I'll have to do that down the road. So um, I'm just finishing off a Sweet Jane Cigarello from the Deadwood Tobacco Company. Uh, Coming in a tin like this are really great cigars if you're looking for a quick smoke. But anyway, we won't focus on that today. We're going to focus on the KO Italia Piazza. So anyway, it's looks like it's going to be a great cigar. Can't wait to smoke it, and we'll see how it does today. Um, but let's see here. It's give you some prices on the cigar. It's the cigar is around $8.99, and a box of 20 is around 122, approximately around there, depending on where you buy it from. Everyone's probably got their prices just a little different, I'm sure. And then the taste notes on the cigar. Um, it says it'll start off in the beginning of it with a chocolatey sweetness. Then it kind of goes into some bold, earthy flavors. And then there's some spicy pepper and some sweet floral notes as well, it says throughout. So we'll see what it does, but it's got a 92 rating from Cigar Aficionado, which is pretty good. So, but anyway, they recommend it after an Italian dinner, and I had some pizza a little bit ago, so I guess this will be perfect, Dave, to have this, I guess. So, but today's themes are this show is based around Uh, Italian musicians in the music business, and also I'll mention some Italian bands I discovered out there. And so anyway, so today is pretty much we're going to discuss uh, some of the Italian musicians that I look up to that are in some of the American heavy metal bands, and then I'll kind of discuss a little bit about a band that I just picked up a CD from. Lucky to find it because this band doesn't sell anything out of Italy, but I just happened to find someone on eBay that was selling it. And so, as far as I know, I think I got the only copy that's available on eBay. But the band is Titus, and that's them right now. And I've actually got them playing in the background right now. But really good sounding band. Almost weird to say, but they have a little bit of a Metallica feel to it, mixed in with Iron Maiden. And I don't know, just basically kind of a British metal sound, and a little bit. They got more of a speed metal sound, um, but they are got some. I've heard some little bit of Iron Maiden sounds throughout it, so kind of a weird mixture, Metallica and Iron Maiden together. But their sound is just incredible, and so I just want you guys to know that this band is great. If you decide to check them out, check out their videos on YouTube. They got some videos on YouTube, and again, they're called Titus. And this CD is called Rain After Drought, and this came out in 2019. They've got a new album they're working on right now. I saw, or it might be out by now, but not sure what the name of that is. And they've got a couple other projects too they've done, but again, this was the only one I could find. Um, anywhere that I could. I couldn't find it anywhere, so eBay was the only place I could find this, and but really good CD, good sounding music, great sounding music. So check them out. Check out Titus on YouTube. And they're out of, let's see here. They are out of, let's see here, Trieste, Italy. Trieste, Italy is how I believe I need to pronounce that. But and then I'll go ahead and just announce a couple of the other bands I found was Rhapsody of Fire. They're from Trieste, Italy as well. They were formed in 1993, and they're considered symphonic power metal. Another band, and maybe you guys have heard of this band, Lacuna Coil. I've heard of them, but I didn't realize they were out of Italy. But they're out of Milan, Italy, and they're considered gothic metal. And they formed in 1994. And then again, Titus, uh, they're considered traditional metal, and they were formed in 2014. And they're also from Trieste, Italy. So a few bands to throw out at you, but there's many more bands out there that I saw that I didn't get a chance to check out. But so far, the band that I'm impressed with the most is Titus. So check them out if you get a chance. But anyway, so here a little bit, I'll also discuss a little bit what's going on in the music world out there, and throw in some tour dates as well. And I'll kind of get into my album collection with band members that I look up to. Some with us still, some not, that are Italian that I look up to. I have looked up to almost all my life. So I'll get into some of that too here. But I want to go ahead and get into this cigar. And again, there it is. Great looking cigar. KO Italia, 6x60 Gordo. So let me get into this cigar here. I'm going to use my Perdomo Guillotine cutter. It's got the backing on it, so I can't cut too deep into the cigar. But it's a nice size 6x60 cigar, really beautiful. And I've discussed on my other podcast that sometimes I have a hard time wanting to smoke these cigars. I have these really pretty ring bands on it, or these cigar bands on it. But I gotta try the cigar. And since I'm discussing Italian metal today and or Italian musicians, um, this is a perfect day to have this. Also, I want to say cheers to you guys. I'm smoking a Stella Rosa cherry Italian wine. It's a sweeter wine. If you guys have never had Stella Rosa, make sure you try it if you're into those more sweeter wines. I'm not really into the bitter wines, but my mom loves an Italian wine. Um, I'm trying to think of how you pronounce it. Chiachi? Oh gosh, I can't think of the name of it. Um, but hopefully I'll think of the name of that Italian wine my mom likes. Chianti. I think it's Chianti is what she likes. It's a kind of a more dry, bitter Italian wine, but that's what my mom likes. But I'm more into the sweeter stuff, so I'm gonna stick with my Stella. But anyway, again, cheers to you guys, and let me get into this cigar here. When I first get my cigar, I really like to take time to smell it and taste the wrapper on it, and I'll moisten the head of the cigar where the cap is, and not only it gives me a chance to get a taste of the wrapper, but it also keeps that a little bit moist, so when I cut into it, it won't crack or anything like that. Um, but I like to definitely get as much out of these cigars as I can. Enjoy every moment of it. There's a lot of smells that come off of these cigars, and what I'm getting ready to do after I cut this is I'm going to do a cold draw on it, and that will give me some sort of um, it'll give me a chance to see how my draw is going to be, if it's too tight or too loose. It'll give me some other taste notes as well. But anyway, this guillotine cutter, that's what I like about it. After I cut it, it catches the cap, and then I can just take it and throw it away. But I chose to throw it on my floor instead. So anyway, there we go. So anyway, but anyway, the draw feels like it's going to be just right. I'll give you some taste notes of some chocolate in there, definitely. Yeah, some really nice sweet chocolate on the cold draw. So, um, anyway, but this is another guillotine cutter that you guys can grab if you're getting into cigars. Uh, I like this one. If I've got a smaller cigar, I can cut, just a little bit off. Where this one, it works the same way, but you can go a little deeper on this for the bigger cigars, and it'll cut it just right for you. So, but I do carry one of these as well, just in case I want to cut into a little bit of a smaller cigar, and then I can cut just a little bit off of it. And then if it's still not enough, I can cut just a little more on top of that. So, um, some people like these cutters too. It's a V-shaped cutter. It kind of puts a V shape into the cap, and some people like that. I've never really got into using these very much. It's kind of hard to see the blade, but it looks like a V. And I guess some people feel it gives them a better draw from the cigar. Um, and I really didn't get that when I tried to do the V cut. But some people like it, and that's okay. Um, Everyone's got their own preference of how they want things cut. And then there's also out there you can get a punch, and this one's on the bottom of one of my lighters. But there's a punch also that you can use. You can just pop a little hole on the end. Sometimes you can do two holes, however you want to do it. Some people like a little bit of a tighter draw, and that's what that kind of gives people. So, um, but on my dad's side of the family, um, pretty much all Italians, some Irish. His dad was Irish, but on his mom's side was all Italians from Sicily. And this was my dad's lighter from the Navy. I used this on the last podcast. I thought I would use it again and see how I do with it. It's something I'm trying to learn and get down. But anyway, so I thought I would go ahead and use it again today and to toast my lighter here and to light it. So we'll see how it does here. But this was my dad's lighter, Zippo lighter from when he was in the Navy, and I want to see how well this would light this bigger cigar here. I just want to toast the the butt of it. I don't want to cook it too much. I just want to get this toasted. Just get that tobacco going a little bit before I light it completely. When I get this foot of the cigar completely toasted, it'll glow orange all the way through, and then I'll know it's ready for me to give it a better light. It's getting there. Almost there, I think. The aromas I'm getting off of this is really good. I'm getting some cedar, kind of a oak cedar aroma to it. But I like to go through the whole ritual of toasting my cigar and getting it all lit the way it needs to before I completely light it. Um, it just makes you appreciate your cigar more when you take the time to go through the ritual of lighting it appropriately and to get to where it needs to be for you. Okay, I think it might be ready. As you can see, it's as you can see, it's lit up completely there. So I'm gonna give it just a little bit of an extra light. Make sure I've got all my tobacco lit really good. Yeah, I think I've got it pretty good there, guys. Anyway, we'll see how it does. But I like to get it burned evenly, so when I smoke my cigar, it doesn't burn unevenly. You want to have a nice even burn all the way through. If you don't burn it or get it lit evenly, you can some of your cigar can burn more on one side than the other, and then you got to go back and kind of touch it up, you know. So I try not to have to do any of that. I like to try and get it done right the first time. That way, I don't have to touch it up or anything like that. So, but yeah, right off the bat, got some floral taste to it. Definitely, definitely a kind of a sweet cigar. Um, and I can kind of taste some of the cedar in there as well. And I think that's what they said. Bold, earthy flavors. Um, so that's kind of what I'm getting. Probably some of the earthy notes that they're tasting about, talking about. But it got a great aroma, and so far it's burning really good. But yeah, I definitely am getting maybe a little bit of chocolate as well in the taste notes here. But yeah, so far so good. Yeah, and I'm definitely getting definitely some floral notes in there as well. A little bit of chocolate, floral, um, some earth or cedar or something like that. So, but yeah, so far it's tasting pretty good, but definitely getting some floral notes. This is definitely a different tasting cigar than what I'm used to, but really good though. Get a drink of my wine here and see how that tastes with my cigar. Yeah, it's got a pretty good combination there. I think that the red cherry wine and and this goes very well together. You can pair, uh, if you're smoking, you can pair it with all kinds of things: wine, beer. Some people like darker beers with their cigars, IPAs. You can, I like to do rum and coffee even. Rum and coffee are some of my favorite things to drink while I'm smoking a cigar. Um, and of course, there's some bourbons and whiskeys that are good too. But the way you drink and smoke, depending on if you take a sip first and then puff, will kind of make your cigar taste a certain way. If you do it the opposite way, where you sip first and then puff, it can cause your cigar to taste a different way that way, as well. Um, so yeah. So anyway, but yeah. So I like to usually drink something with my cigars to see how it pairs up. So, but this cigar, it's got really great construction on it. It's got a nice dark wrapper, and it's not too veiny or anything like that. It's got a few little veins running through it, but for the most part, the wrapper is very smooth. So I'm really, really liking the way the wrapper feels so far. So anyway, pretty good cigar so far. Really enjoying it so far. But anyway, yeah, if you guys have ever had one of these, let me know how your experience was or what your thoughts are on it. I'll definitely give you mine today throughout this time that I smoke this. I'll let you know everything how I feel about it. But if you guys have ever had one of these, let me know how it's been for you. Um, but yeah, so far, pretty interesting cigar, that's for sure. So, um, anyway, let me get into some music news that I always like to do on these podcasts. I like to give you any latest updates or tour dates that are coming on in the scene. And I've got a spaceship that has just landed outside of my house right now. Just some neighbors of mine that own a spaceship. So, um, anyway, down here in the basement, there's some kind of a clean out system, and once in a while it'll go off. We're in an older house, so it's got a setup in the basement where I don't know, it's kind of a clean out of some sorts. Um, and I'm not sure. I couldn't even tell you exactly what it's doing, but once in a while it'll go off, and it just happened to choose to do that today. So hopefully that wasn't too loud. But anyway, I always consider it a spaceship landing in our house or outside of our house or something. It's what it sounds like to me. So anyway, but some of the latest uh, that I'll give you guys here. Anyway, so Metallica, with their new album 72 Seasons that just came out, they're looks like they're going to be. Um, let's see here. It looks like they're going to be having that album considered number one. So this will be their. Let's see here. Oh, I don't know. I know they've had some other number one albums in the past in the United Kingdom, but it looks like their new album, 72 Seasons, is number one right now. So, um, just some latest on their new album. And I listened to the new album. It's really, really good, guys. You need to pick that up, definitely. So, great album. Definitely pick it up. And then Blackie Lawless of Wasp. He's got a herniated disc in his lower back, which has been really bothering him lately. So hopefully he'll get through the rest of their tour just fine. But he may have to look at having surgery on that after he gets done touring. So hopefully you're doing okay, Blackie, and hang in there. And you got a lot of supporters out there. So hopefully you won't have to stop the tour to have that done. Hopefully you can finish your tour out and then get it done afterwards. But anyway, I know a lot of us will support you in any way, even if you had to stop. And I hope to catch you guys eventually soon. I really do. Molly Crew is back in the studio with Bob Rock to record some new material. So who knows? There might be some new material out soon, new album out soon. Don't know if Vince Neil will be on it exactly. Haven't heard. I know there's been some conversation about Vince Neil being replaced possibly. I hope not. I hope Vince Neil will be a part of the Motley Crue when they record their new album when that happens. Hopefully his voice will hold up and continue to get better over time. But there has been talk about that, so we'll see what happens. Um, and then Great Event Fleet just announced their Starcatcher World Tour, and I've caught some stuff on YouTube from their new tour, and so far, from what I'm seeing, they sound really good live. So they've got a big tour coming up, or they've been touring, but the start of this tour that they're talking about, the Starcatcher World Tour, that will start on May 5th in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Shaky Knees Festival, and then they will continue on. They're going to be in Denver July 31st at Ball Arena, which is closest to us. I'm not sure if I'll make it to that show or not. And then they'll be touring through September 27th of 2024. And it looks like the last show they'll do is, let's see, it looks like the last show they'll do is September 27th at Mexico City in Mexico. So we'll see what happens there. But they're going to be having some different bands with them that I've not heard of. I've heard of Black Honey. I don't know really anything about them, but some of the bands are going to be with us: KLAO, Surf Curse, Mount Joy, and then, like I said, Black Honey. And then they'll be opening up for Metallica on a couple shows down the road as well on the M72 World Tour. So got a lot planned. They've got a lot planned anyway, it looks like. And then Ozzy Osbourne was photographed walking without his cane over in Los Angeles here recently. So that's good. It's good to see that Ozzy's up and around and doing better again. This cigar is really good, guys. I think you'll like it. It's definitely not too full strength yet, as far as I know. It doesn't feel like it's a full strength cigar yet, more medium. And I'm still getting a lot of the floral notes. Um, Getting a little chocolate, but more of the floral notes right now. So we'll see if that changes or not. And then, of course, there's a festival coming up um, that I had talked about on the last podcast. It's going to be in Indio, California, at the Empire Polo Club, and that's going to be Friday, October 6th through Sunday, October 8th, and that's going to feature Ozzy Osbourne, Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, Metallica, Iron Maiden, and Tool. So that's coming up. So I'm curious to see how well Ozzy does during that show he does there, and what he decides to do while he's performing. I'm interested to see clips of that. Hopefully, I'll find some stuff on that once after it's over. But I'm really curious how that happens. But that's not until October, so I've got ways to wait. And of course, I'll give Ozzy some time to continue to heal up and do better. And so hopefully he'll be full swing when that or when that concert happens, and then hopefully he'll be up to maybe doing a small tour of some sort after that's over. Maybe he'll be in good enough shape to do that. So I know my brother and myself have been really waiting patiently to see Ozzy. Yeah, I've been waiting very patiently to see AC/DC as well. So through this festival that's coming up in October, hopefully maybe AC/DC will start touring again, and hopefully Ozzy will continue to tour. So me and my brother can go see those guys. So and then ex Metallica bassist Jason Newsted, he's announced a new project. Hasn't done any major projects since 10 years ago, so he's looking at doing some new projects with the Jason Newsted band. So we'll see how that goes. And then Scorpions, they've been really praising Great Event Fleet for continuing to carry the torch for hard rock. And of course, they think it's really great how they got some of the Led Zeppelin inspired, sounds in their music, and they just think it's great that Greta Van Fleet's carrying the torch um, to keep the Led Zeppelin spirit alive and to keep hard rock going. So that was neat to hear from the guys in the Scorpions. And that comment came from Matthias Jabs and Klaus Meine, um, from the Scorpions. So anyway, let's see here. Testament, latest news on them. Eric Peterson says that drummer Chris Dovis will make the band heavier and more precise than before. He's the one that he just joined. Their past drummer um, has I think he stepped down. Um, so Chris Dovis is the replacement in Testament. So hopefully they'll stay successful with their new drummer, and hopefully they'll do some touring and have some great success with that. So congrats to Chris Dovis for being a part of Testament now. And then over, let's see here. Um, there was a statue of Brian Johnson that was just put up. And that is, I'm trying to see where that city is, where they put it up. Namur, Belgium. I don't know if I'm pronouncing Namur. It's Namur, but they on Sunday, April 16th. Let's see here. Yeah, April 16th. Um, a statue of ACDC's Brian Johnson of ACDC was put up. Namur in Belgium is the first concert he did with ACDC. So they put that up to pay tribute to Brian Johnson for that. So anyway, so that's pretty neat. Pretty cool news. And then let's see here. Metallica's Lars Ulrich just made a statement that he loves, what he's doing with Metallica, and he loves the fact that they're family and they love each other, and they continue to be together for a very long time, and they just really enjoy playing with each other. I thought that was really great to hear. On the last podcast, I discussed bands that are still together and doing great, and getting along and loving each other and being respectful to each other and making great music on top of it, and want to continue doing that, in their future. So I just love to hear the bands that get along great and are doing well and have a great brotherhood with each other and get along and want to continue working with each other and look at each other as family and have that special bond and love for each other to want to continue on. So I thought that's great. Billy Sheehan from Mr. Big, he's talking about writing some new music. Don't know if he's going to be looking at an album or a new band or what. I don't know. He hasn't really revealed anything. He's just brought out saying that he's looking at writing some new music. So, and I don't know if that's for Mr. Big or if it's going to be for a side project. I don't know, but we'll see what happens with that. And then Joe Elliott from Def Leppard. They're looking at putting out a new biopic, and this one is going to be more truthful about their life. They talked about one that was put out on MTV, um, and that was back in '99. The MTV had a biopic about Def Leppard, but Joe Elliott says a lot of it wasn't real accurate, so they want to kind of clear up some things that are not accurate, and want to put out a new biopic that tells more people the real story about Def Leppard. So I'll be looking forward to seeing that whenever that comes out. And Gray White is demoing for a new lead singer. His name is Brett Carlisle, so we'll see how that goes. I'm glad to see Gray White still together. All the original members are still together. It's just they've been having different lead singers over the years since Jack Russell had quit back in the early 2000s. I think it was early 2000 or so, 2004 or something like that. I may not be completely accurate, but it's been a while since Jack Russell's been with Gray White. He's been out doing his own music for quite some time now. and his band, Jack Russell's Great Whites, doing very well also. So, but anyway, so we'll see what happens with their new lead singer, I guess, that they're demoing. Hopefully, he'll work out and continue to help keep that great white sound that they've had over the years. So, um, and then Kicks guitarist Ronnie Youngkin says he's been now sober for 45 days. He has been struggling with staying sober. So congratulations, Ronnie. Keep up the great work, and hopefully you'll be out on the road with Kicks again one of these times. So um, we'll see what happens there. And then Joe Perry says that Steven Tyler's doing really well, and physically he's doing really well. His voice is continuing to improve. He's hasn't done anything with Aerosmith for a while. Well, for just a little bit of time, they kind of took a break. Um, so December 5th of 2022 is the last time I guess he has done anything with Aerosmith. But they are looking at a tour this fall, starting in September, I guess. So I'm very excited about that. My brother and myself have been wanting to catch Aerosmith for quite a while too. I've seen them a few times. My brother never has. So hopefully he'll be able to finally catch them with me. And the cigar is continuing to do very well, by the way. It's burning pretty evenly and still tasting great. Not getting as much of the floral now. I'm getting more of the chocolate, and not as much of the earthy taste notes. Getting more of the chocolate right now. Still waiting to see if I'm going to get any of the pepper, which I'm guessing. I'm guessing I'll get some pepper here, hopefully here shortly. But right now I'm getting more of the chocolate. Um, so anyway, so pretty good cigar, still burning very well. I haven't had to relight it yet. It's still doing good. So anyway, but I if this continues to do what it's doing, I will definitely give this a nice rating today. So um, and then let's see here. Volbeat announced that their Servant of the Road Summer North American 2023 tour will have Hailstorm. And then Nikki Sixx definitely confirms that Motley Crue is writing new music. Says they're just letting the music guide them. And then former Iron Maiden singer Blaze Bayley is going to be undergoing triple bypass heart surgery. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And let's see here. Metallica will start their M72 World Tour in Arlington, Texas. And they will be doing a cinema a one night show in cinemas, or it's a 2 night evening. I'm sorry, 2 night evening in cinemas from the very first show they do in Arlington, Texas. Um, Not sure. Let's see here. Okay, so they said it's going to be August 18th, um, Friday, August 18th, and Sunday, August 20th. Let's see. Yeah, and that's from the Arlington, Texas show. So Friday, August 18th and Sunday, August 20th are the two shows they're looking at putting in cinemas. Two different nights they're putting in cinemas. So if you are in the area where they're going to show that, make sure you go check it out. I think that's going to be really great to see on the big screen. I hope I'll get to see that. I hope, or if not, hopefully they'll put that out on Blu-ray or something so I can watch it on my TV. Um, and then let's see here. There's new remastered versions of the Mob Rules from Black Sabbath, Live Evil, the 40th Anniversary Super Deluxe Edition that's out. So check into that. And then Dolly Parton, I know I discussed Dolly Parton in the past that she was going to be doing a rock album. So far she's got John 5 and Nikki Sixx participating in that. I have no news of what that album's called or when it's going to be out or anything, but so I don't know. Well, that'll be a very interesting album. So, and then Foo Fighters, they've announced a 2023 tour, and of course they'll have a different drummer now. But anyway, that starts May 24th in Guilford, New Hampshire, at the Bank of New Hampshire's Pavilion. And then that tour will continue on through October 5th, and it'll end in El Paso, Texas. So at the Don Haskins Center. So make sure you catch those guys. Um, and then make sure you catch Metallica out there. They got a huge tour plan that's going to be going on. A lot of tour dates, and I'm sure that's going to be a great tour. So I don't know. Hopefully, I'll get to finally catch Metallica. Haven't caught him yet, so but just hasn't been in the books or in the cards for me to be able to catch him yet. Hopefully, one of these days I'll get to soon. So, but anyway, I kind of want to get into what this podcast is about. Of course, it's based on this Italian cigar and my Italian wine, but more than anything, this is I kind of want to share some of the artists that I've been looking up to over the years that are Italian, and so some of the guys I really look up to, for one, is uh, Vinnie Vincent. Um, Vinnie Vincent was part of Kiss, and he was let's see, he was born on August 6th of 1952. He's 70 years of age right now, and he was the see, the Ink Warrior for Kiss, and he was a part of Kiss during the Creatures of the Night tour, which was in 82, 83, and then he was a part of the Lick It Up tour in 83, 84. And then after that, he was not any part of Kiss anymore after that. But he was born in let's see here, Bridgeport, Connecticut is where Vinny was born, and his actual name is Vincent John Cusano. And the band that he started after he left Kiss was Vinnie Vincent Invasion, and the first album he did looks like this. That was the first album he worked on, was just called Vinnie Vincent Invasion. There's the back of it, and that was in 1986. And then the next album he did was All Systems Go, and that was in 1988. So there's his second album. There's the back of it. And of course, Mark Slaughter was the lead singer for them at the time. So there's that, and a little bit of some glare on there. Sorry about that. But anyway, Vinnie Vincent, he's one of the Italian artists that I have really liked. I love his guitaring, and he is definitely missed. Definitely very underrated guitarist, if you ask me. But one of my Italian brothers that I've always looked up to. And so, Vinnie Vincent, thank you for all you've done with Kiss and for all the music you put out with Vinnie Vincent Invasion. Great memories with all the music you've done, and for being with Kiss, my favorite band, of course. But today I am rocking the Black Sabbath, my Black Sabbath shirt from the End Tour. That happened quite a while back. God, this is a great cigar, guys. Great cigar. I can see why it was rated so high. So anyway, but yeah, you guys need to definitely find the Italia or KO Italia cigar. It's very enjoyable smoke so far, and I'm really liking it. Fairly even burned so far. Great construction, great taste, great aromas. Still getting some chocolate. I have a feeling that the pepper taste notes are going to happen more towards the end of the cigar. I have a feeling. A lot of cigars I smoke, I start getting more of the pepper towards the end of the cigar. Sometimes they're throughout the cigar, but there's a lot of cigars I smoke, especially if they're Maduro kind of a cigar like this. I usually get a lot of that pepper towards the end, it seems like. So we'll see what happens here. But anyway, so Vinnie Vincent, um, one of my Italian brothers. Anyway, so God bless you, brother, and thank you for all the stuff you did for Kiss and for being out there on Headbangers Ball when I was in high school, and that's how I discovered you. Pretty much was on Headbangers Ball back on on the old MTV days. After getting home at night from washing dishes at a place called King's Inn back in Torrington, Wyoming, I'd always get home and watch Headbangers Ball. It was a 3-hour show, but a lot of times I could only catch the last hour, sometimes the last 2 hours, depending on what time I got from work. But I remember getting home and couldn't wait to watch Headbangers Ball, and was always hoping to see Vinnie Vincent Invasion on there, and they were on there quite often. So, but anyway, I wish I could have caught them in concert, or while they were out playing at the time. I wish I could have seen them live, but I never got to. But anyway, so great memories. And again, Vinnie Vincent was born on August 8th, 1952. So right now he's 70 years old. But you're not forgotten about. You're not forgotten about. And then, of course, another member of Kiss, and he's not with us anymore, which is Eric Carr. And Eric Carr, his actual name is Paul Charles Caravello, and he was the Fox for Kiss. And he was born on July 12th, 1950, passed away November 24th of 1991. And he was born in New York City. And he joined Kiss in 1983. He was 41 when he passed away. But the first album he was a part of was The Elder in 1981 with Kiss. And then when he was first announced that he was a member of Kiss, it was from Paul Stanley on one of the Night Flight programs. And the last show that Eric Carr did with Kiss was July 1991 on the MTV Music Video Awards, and that was his last performance. He became ill on February 19th of 91, and he is buried at the Cedar Hill Cemetery in Newburgh, New York. And he was in a relationship with model actress Carrie Stevens at the time. But Eric Carr, he had such a great drumming style. He brought a whole new sound to Kiss when he joined. Peter Criss had kind of a big band jazz kind of style to his drumming, where Eric Carr had more of a hard rock style to his drumming, because he was a fan of Led Zeppelin, just like Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, and or more Paul Stanley, I guess, was a big fan of Led Zeppelin and a lot of other kind of hard rock bands that Eric Carr loved too, just like Paul Stanley did. So he brought definitely a more driving force to Kiss, made him harder edged through his drumming. And of course, when Eric Carr sang, he sounded very close to Peter Criss, but was a great singer as well. But my favorite album with Eric Carr is definitely the Creatures of the Night album. And just a great album. Every song is awesome on this album. And I don't know, Eric Carr definitely put a lot of his work into this. And but just such a great album. And I do like The Elder as well, that Eric Carr was a part of in the beginning. But this album, this was probably the first album since I'd have to say since Hotter Than Hell, where it had a harder edge, and just because they had kind of gone really commercial for a while, and so this was the first album that came out where it was just very hard edged, and just had a lot of that very hard sound to it. That was known from the Hotter Than Hell album. So great album. And some of the songs that were featured on here, of course, was Creatures of the Night, and I Love It Loud, War Machine, those, and I Still Love You, which was kind of a ballad from Paul Stanley on there. But Keep Me Coming, great song as well. Rock and Roll Hell, just so many great songs on here. But anyway, again, my favorite album with Eric Carr on it. My second favorite album with Eric Carr is the Crazy Nights album that came out in 1987. And I actually got to meet Eric Carr on this tour. I got to meet him in Casper, Wyoming, and let's see here. So there's the back of it. We got to meet Eric Carr in Casper, Wyoming in 1987, which was great. He was such a great guy. He was very nice, just very pleasant to talk to. And he didn't rush me off when we talked. He kept me with him probably good for a good half hour, talking with him. And so just a very generous guy, and just loved his fans. And so anyway, but yeah, so Eric Carr right there. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me, and because you're one of my biggest heroes and still are. But thank you for taking that time to talk with me, and allow me to get to know you for a good half hour. And I'll never forget how he looked that day. He had on a three-piece suit, had a briefcase, had sunglasses on, had his hair back in a ponytail. Wish I could have gotten a picture of him and myself together, but I didn't have a camera on me. I had no idea that I was going to run into Eric Carr at the Hilton Inn in Casper, Wyoming before that concert. I had no idea that was going to happen. I really was not expecting that. So, yeah, again, thank you, Eric, for taking that time to talk with me. I am going to touch this up just a hair. It's burning just a little bit unevenly. I'm just going to touch it up just a hair. Maybe get just a little bit of relight since I'm doing this. But yeah, this is a great cigar, guys. I'm really enjoying this. It did start burning a little bit unevenly, but I touched it up. We'll see if it stays lit evenly now. But that does happen with cigars at times. It might burn a little unevenly at times, and I just give it a little bit of a touch up, and it usually stays just fine after that. So getting some floral taste notes again on this, and the chocolate's kind of left. Got the floral again, and actually I am getting a little bit of pepper now. Definitely getting a little bit of pepper now with it. So, but anyway, really good tasting cigar, guys. But again, let me know if you've smoked this, because I'm curious if it's something that you've enjoyed or maybe not. I don't know, but let me know how you felt about this. But again, guys, thank you for joining me today. I'm having a ball being with you guys. Bless you guys, as Ronnie James Dio would always do. Anyway, so bless you guys. God bless you, and thanks for joining me today. But I'm having such a great time with you guys today, and love hanging out with you guys. And I'm going to let you know that probably from here on, I probably won't be able to get a show in every week. I'll probably have to do it every other week or so, just because of my work and just things that are going on. It's getting to be a busier time. Over the winter time, I was able to easily do one once a week, just because weather was always bad outside and not much going on. Work was, things at work were a little slower, but we're getting into a busier time with my work. And I manage a grocery store. If you guys have watched any of my past episodes, you'll know that I do that. I manage a grocery store here in Kimball, Nebraska. And I do carry premium cigars at my store. I carry spirits and wines and beer and premium cigars, as well as a big line of grocery items. And we have a deli and a bakery and a produce department, a meat department. Have all that at my store. Fairly decent sized store. But this town's only got about 2,500 people. A lot of towns around us. But so people in this town really have nowhere else to go to shop. Um, a lot of the time, a lot of people just can't get out of town. So they count on us, providing everything that they need. And we're right off the interstate. So we get a lot of people that travel through that stop in and buy things from us as well. But I've got a greenhouse as well, and all my greenhouse stuff is going to be coming in. So I'm going to have to deal with that for a little bit. and we got a big inventory coming up, so I'm going to be pretty busy. So episode 12, I probably won't be able to get that up until another couple weeks or so. So be patient with me and enjoy the shows that I've already done, and rewatch them or watch them if you haven't yet. And join Harper Cigar Lounge on YouTube. Join that channel and go back and watch the podcast. And there's a lot to learn from, a lot of information, and just enjoy those. And I'll keep trying to get these shows, these podcasts up as much as I can. But I don't continue. I don't plan on ever planning on stopping to, with these. I plan to continue doing this for a long time. So, but anyway, yeah. So thank you again for all your support, and check out the group page on Facebook under Harper Cigar Lounge if you haven't done that yet. The whole group page is based around heavy metal, hard rock, and of course cigars. So a lot of great smoke from the cigar, and the aromas are terrific. Just a nice mild cedar oak smell to it. Some floral stuff I can kind of smell off of the cigar as well. And I kind of feel like I'm in kind of a coffee shop a little bit. I smell some coffee smells as well. So, but yeah, so far a great cigar, guys. I'm so far probably gonna rate this at least a 90. I know the rating was a 92. I'm gonna rate it a 91 so far, and that could change by the end of the show. We'll see. And I'm just gonna go with the 91 right now because I did have to touch it up once and give it a little bit of a relight, not much, but did have to do that just a little bit. But the construction, the aromas, the taste I'm getting, the ash is actually really nice and gray as well, kind of a whitish gray, and so the ash is really good. Um, so yeah, so far a pretty good cigar, everybody. It really is. So I definitely recommend it, the KO Italia. So look for that cigar. If you haven't tried this yet, make sure you try it, and then let me know how you feel about it. So, but anyway, so my next hero from Kiss as well is, of course, Peter Criss. And he hasn't been with Kiss now for quite some time. But Peter Criss's original name is George Peter John Criscola. And he was born on December 20th, 1945 in Brooklyn, New York. And he was with Kiss from 72 to 81. And then he was back with them in 96 to 97 for the reunion tour. And then he was back with them in 2004 again. And right now he's 77 years old. So, and but still out there doing some playing and and everything, and so he's still staying active, with his drumming, and I know he's been doing some singing too a little bit out there. Um, so anyway, but Peter, I love you, brother, and you're the reason I got into hard rock, heavy metal. You're the first person I heard play drums, and that you're the reason why I got into playing drums. My dad was a guitarist, and so all the years I listened to Kiss as a kid, I had no idea that Peter Criss was Italian. Didn't know anything about, really, back in those days when I was 7 years old and through the 70s. Kiss didn't let you know too much about them. They wanted everything to be kept such a secret about who they were and what they were and where they were from and anything. You just didn't know anything about them. They kept everything such a secret. They always had their their makeup on, so you never saw who they really were underneath it all. Um, but of course, in the early '80s and stuff, of course, Kiss finally revealed who they were. But Peter Criss wasn't with them, of course. But Peter Criss has had some really great music, and of course, the first thing I got hold of from Peter Criss was, of course, his solo album, and that was in '78. And this album was so different than what you heard from Kiss. It was really big band jazz type music he did on this, and I loved his voice on this album. Such a raspy voice, and I'll never forget when I first saw a picture of him and heard him singing. and saw the drum set wrapped around him, I knew that's what I wanted to do, is learn drums and to sing like him. And so I would sit in my basement playing drums and singing to his music and trying to get his voice down and everything. But Peter Criss, you're the reason why I got into music, the way I did. Like I said, my dad was a musician. He was a guitarist, sang a lot. My dad did that. But when I heard Peter Criss singing and playing the drums, I had to follow his path more than anything. So anyway, but some of the songs on this solo album, um, which one thing that I thought was really cool back then is they dedicated these albums to each other in the band. So this is dedicated to Ace, Paul, and Gene, and Michael Benvenja. I think he was one of the guys on the album that helped him arrange this music on here. But gosh, I don't know. One of the, I think my favorite songs on this was "You Matter to Me" and "Tossing and Turning." Don't You Let Me Down was a really good, kind of a slower song, but that was really good. And I don't know, "Hooked on Rock and Roll," "Kiss the Girl Goodbye." Those were great songs from Peter Criss. I felt on that album. Um, but this album here, "Hotter Than Hell," this was probably my favorite album of Kiss with Peter Criss on it. And my favorite song on here was "Mainline" that Peter Criss sang. Um, oh my gosh, this album was really hard and heavy, kind of dark. And so the Creatures of the Night album and the Hotter Than Hell album are my two definitely favorite albums from Kiss. Of course, like I said, the Creatures of the Night had Eric Carr in it, and this one had Peter Criss. But both albums are my favorite just because of how hard and kind of dark they are. So, but there's a close up of the back of the Hotter Than Hell album, and of course, I didn't discover this album until later. Until like the early 80s, I really didn't listen to the really early Kiss. I was listening to the albums Love Gun and Destroyer and Rock and Roll Over and Kiss Life 2, of course, and Unmasked were the albums I really listened to a lot. Of course, Dynasty as well and the solo albums. But it was later that I started listening to the early stuff, the first Kiss, Hotter Than Hell, Dressed to Kill, and then got a hold of the Kiss Alive album and listened to that. So I listened to all the other stuff first and then went back to the early years after that and really got in touch with the early stuff, which is definitely my favorite era Kiss, I'd have to say overall. The way they looked was just darker. They had the black leather and silver and the studs and everything, and they ended up becoming way like more glammy as time went on. But miss those early days of Kiss where they just looked very dark and just I don't know the black and silver and just I love that era from them, and their makeup was different too. So anyway, I'm gonna give this one more. This is a great cigar. Definitely gonna give this a 90, probably a 91 rating still. Um, Probably 91 still. We'll see at the end of this still where I'm at with this. But still getting a lot of the floral taste. Um, Getting a little pepper again. Um, Not really getting into the chocolate right now. More of the pepper and the floral notes. So far so good. So far so good. So anyway, um, the next gentleman, Italian brother of mine, is Ronnie James Dio, of course. And Ronnie James Dio's original name is Ronald James Padavona. Padavona, I believe is how you pronounce that. And he was born in Portsmouth, New York, on July 10th of 1942. And then he passed away on May 16th of 2010 from stomach cancer. And he died in a hospital in Houston, Texas. And I remember the stories about Ronnie when he was in the hospital. He would visit a lot of the kids in the hospital and go see them and visit with them. and give them autographs and CDs and pictures of himself, with notes to the kids. And he had one adoptive son, so I'm guessing he had a heart for kids, But so with that being said, just he was a really nice, great guy, and just loved everybody around him. He was a really, he loved his fans as well, and always put on great shows for his fans, and just always expressed, how he felt about his fans and everything. So, but he was a great guy, really great guy. Anyway, I lost. Oh, let's see here. Ah, nope, never mind. That's not what I was looking for. Sorry, guys, I had a brain fart. But anyway, but Ronnie was just a great guy. Loved his fans, loved his bandmates, and everyone that was a part of him. He just really cherished and everything. And of course, his wife Wendy Dio, um, they had a great relationship. Stayed married. She was his manager. So anyway, Ronnie's missed definitely, but his last performance was August 29th of 2009 with Heaven and Hell, and that was in Atlantic City. At the let's see, Atlantic City, New Jersey. And the bands that he was involved with was Elf, and then he was with Black Sabbath or with Rainbow, and then he went to Black Sabbath, and then he had his Dio band, and then in the end, he reformed Black Sabbath, but they had to call it Heaven and Hell because Ozzy was out touring with Black Sabbath. So Geezer Butler and Tony Iommi were uh, in that project with Ozzy as well, but then they did the Heaven and Hell project, so couldn't have two different Black Sabbath bands out there, so they went to with the name Heaven and Hell, so which was the first album they did together with Ronnie, and that would be this album right here. Um, and this is the Heaven and Hell Black Sabbath album. So anyway, but such great songs on this. Neon Nights, Children of the Sea, Lady Evil, Heaven and Hell, Die Young, were some of the really great songs on this. And this album here's got some bonus live tracks on it, but there's the back of it. So, but great album with Ronnie. And then let's see here. Set my cigar down for a second. So anyway, so Heaven and Hell, and then we had Mob Rules after that Ronnie was a part of. And this album had Sign of the Southern Cross, The Mob Rules, Country Girl, Falling Off the Edge of the World was another great song. Turn Up the Night was a great song. But anyway, so great album with Ronnie, with Black Sabbath, Mob Rules. So if you haven't picked up those albums or CDs, make sure you do that. If you're new to heavy metal hard rock and you're looking for some great music with Ronnie James Dio in the early days, definitely grab some Rainbow albums or CDs, but especially the Black Sabbath era was great with Ronnie. And then, of course, um, they brought out Live Evil. This was the last project Ronnie did with Black Sabbath before he went on to do the Dio band. So anyway, but there's Mob Rules. There's the back of it. But anyway, so that's a great album. Great live album with Ronnie James Dio in it. So um, great stuff. So make sure you grab a hold of it. But Ronnie, you're missed. You're missed every day, and I wish you were here still with us. But I'm glad I got your music to listen to keep the memories going. So God bless you, Ronnie. God bless you, Ronnie. So anyway, and then gosh, let's see here. Um, Another great guy, drummer for Quiet Riot, is Frankie Banali, and he was with Quiet Riot from '73 to '20 when he passed away. But he was born on November 14th of 1951, and then he passed away August 20th of 2020. He was 68 years old, and he was a part of Billy Idol, Wasp, Faster Pussycat and Steppenwolf. I didn't know about all that. I didn't realize that he had done drumming work for those guys. So, but he was born in Queens, New York, and so, but yeah, I miss him with Quiet Riot. But there's a Mental Health album, and then there he is right there, right there. Um, so yeah, so anyway, you're missed. You're definitely missed, and um, this was the Mental Health album, like I said, and this came out in '83, I want to say. 1983, I was right. And of course, Mental Health, Come On Feel the Noise, Slick Black Cadillac were the three big songs they did off this album. But Frankie, you're missed, man. Yeah, you're missed. And so, but anyway, Quiet Riot, Mental Health, guys. Probably the best album they've ever done, and definitely one of my favorites. Their second album they did was Condition Critical. And actually, these weren't the first albums they did. They had some other albums before they got big. Randy Rhoads, that played with Ozzy for a lot of years, actually was one of the founding members of Quiet Riot, and he left to go be with Ozzy. And but anyways, or I'm sorry, Condition Critical, another great album. This was probably their fifth album. Mental Health was, I think, their fourth album. This was their fifth. Of course, this is when they got well known on MTV. You know, the Mental Health and Condition Critical albums. They had a lot of videos on MTV, and but this album had Sign of the Times, Mama We're All Crazy Now, Party All Night, Condition Critical, of course, Winner Takes All, great songs, and so yeah. So Frankie, you're missed, and thank you for the music you were a part of with Quiet Riot. And of course, Frankie's one of the founding members of Quiet Riot as well. So, continue to do well, guys. This cigar is continuing to do very well. Still really enjoying it. So, but we're getting, I don't know, getting down about not quite halfway there, not quite, but it's doing pretty well still. Still burning evenly. Great taste still. Getting pepper and floral right now. So, um, one gentleman I didn't know that was Italian that I just discovered that I've listened to for so long is John Bon Jovi, of all things. I had no idea that he was Italian. But his original name is John Francis Bongiori Jr. So I can understand where the Bon Jovi came from now. Uh, they took his last name and they took out the G, and so Bon Jovi instead of Bon Jovi, it's Bon Jovi. But anyway, so John Francis Bon Jovi Jr. and he was born March 2nd of 1962. He's 61 years old right now, and he formed Bon Jovi in 1983. So, and he was born in Perth Amboy, New York. So anyway, so yeah, my all-time favorite album of Bon Jovi is 7800 Degree Fahrenheit. That's probably the album. When I think of Bon Jovi, this is the album I think of. 7800 Degree Fahrenheit. And there were so many great songs on this. I used to love going to the roller skating rink when I was younger, when I wanted to pick up the girls, when I didn't have a car at the time, when I was young, 15 years old. I always remember songs being played off of this. And of course, at the school dance, too, songs being played off of this. But In and Out of Love and Only Lonely, King of the Mountain, Silent Night, Tokyo Road, um, Hardest Part is the Night, were some of the great songs on this. And but yeah, this is a great album. And if you're new to hard rock heavy metal, this is another great album to pick up from Bon Jovi to listen to. But definitely my favorite Bon Jovi album. And then of course, Slippery When Wet. That came out. Let's see here. I want to say that came out in I think '87. It was either '86 or '87 that this came out. And but this was a great album too. There's the back of it right there. But gosh, you give love a bad name, living on a prayer, wanted dead or alive, raise your hands, I'll die for you. Never Say Goodbye was another great song of theirs on this album. But that's when they really hit it big, was when that album came out. Just their tours got huge, and more videos to watch on MTV, and they just got big at that time, really big. And I almost got to go see them, never did get a chance to. The weather kept me from being able to go see them. So I was really bummed about that at the time. And that was going to be over in Casper, Wyoming when I was in high school. So I really wish I could have caught Bon Jovi. And they're looking at getting back together with Richie Sambora again. So I hope to finally catch Bon Jovi, even though all the band members aren't there still. They got some, he's got some different band members than Bon Jovi, but even though it's not the original members, I'd still love to go catch them since Richie Sambora is going to be back with them. But yeah, I love Bon Jovi, those two albums especially, and they had other great albums that came out. Um, they had New Jersey that followed the Slippery When Wet album, and then they had um, let's see here. I'm trying to remember what the one was after that, but it was another great album. I can't think of the name of that album, darn it. But anyway, but the three that I really remember the most is 78 Degree Fahrenheit, Slippery When Wet, and New Jersey were the three big albums of theirs. So and then of course, last but not least, got to discuss Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath, and he's his full name is Anthony Frank Iommi, born in Birmingham, England, born on February 19th of 1948, and he's 75 years old right now. And gosh, he such a so huge in my book. But of course, Tony Iommi, Ozzy Osbourne, uh, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward from Black Sabbath. They're the godfathers of metal. They're really the ones that started the whole metal thing. Some people argue, Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, The Who, Cream, or there's arguments if they're really the ones that started the whole heavy metal hard rock thing going. But Black Sabbath is definitely considered the founding fathers of the heavy metal genre. So, but so my favorite, I got two albums here, but the first Black Sabbath, of course, is my ultimate favorite, probably, just because of the song Black Sabbath on it, which they had wrote to warn people about evil and not to get involved in it. A lot of people thought Black Sabbath was about being a Satanist or getting involved in Satanism or in the dark side of life, and they were actually writing to warn people about it because they had dabbled in some stuff that really brought a lot of trouble into their life. And Ozzy Osbourne's dad made them the big crosses that they wore for a long time to keep evil away from them, and that's why they wore those, to ward evil away from them. So a lot of people had the wrong impression of what Black Sabbath was really about. But again, the first Black Sabbath, great album, definitely my favorite. And then my second favorite, of course, would be Paranoid from Black Sabbath. And this album had War Pigs and Paranoid, Iron Man, Electric Funeral, Hand of Doom, Fairies Wear Boots. So many great songs on this album. I meant to tell you the two songs. Well, the one song I mentioned here was, of course, the Black Sabbath song, but then they had NIB, which was a really great song as well on that album. So those are great albums from all my Italian brothers out there. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for all the memories. Thank you for you guys that are still alive for what you're still doing to keep the music world going in the right direction. You guys are awesome, and you'll always be the ones I look up to the most. And but you guys, Frankie Benelli and Eric Carr, you guys are missed so much. Ronnie, James Dio, you guys are missed so much, and I appreciate everything you've done to help me get through tough times in my life and everything. You guys were always there for me to listen to and to escape from the world, the way it is. And I thought it was bad when I was a kid. It's so much worse now, I think. And I still, listen to this music and love it and escape from things when I listen to it and just get uh, inside of this, kind of into my own world when I listen to this music. So, but it's music I will always cherish, and just so glad to see that there's Italians in the heavy metal hard rock field out there. So I love every one of you guys, and you guys are great. And I hope to see you guys again soon, the ones that have passed away. And I hope to, gosh, if it's meant to be, I hope I'll get to meet Tony Iommi and Peter Criss, and which I've never gotten to meet those guys. I really hope I'll eventually get to, and I don't know if that'll ever happen. The chances of that happening's probably pretty slim because of where I live, but I'll keep hoping and praying that that happens eventually. But anyway, and then again, guys, check out this band called Titus. Check it out. These guys are really good. I'm really impressed with these guys that are from Italy, and I'm just glad to see that these guys are carrying the torch for hard rock heavy metal as well. Um, the, when I did my episode 9, which was during St. Patrick's Day, around that time, I did the whole show on Irish metal and discovered a band called Black Lakes, which I really dig and love. But I thought there was a lot in that scene, but it seems like there's way more in the Italian metal scene than what there is in the Irish metal scene. So, but I'm going to have to go back and find the bands that I saw listed on the internet and see if I can check them out all out on YouTube. But Titus so far is the band I'm impressed with. I'm Metallica fan, and they kind of remind me of Metallica. I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan, so they kind of remind me a little bit of both of those bands a little bit. So, but they definitely got their own style. Get a drink real quick here. Get a puff here. Better ash this before it gets on my carpet. And getting some pepper again on this cigar. So it's really good so far. I'm really impressed with this cigar. Um, anyway, but gosh, I don't have any more to show you with the guys I look up to, and I don't. That's some of the albums that I own, and glad I could share those with you today. Some of the CDs that I showed you, I'm glad I could share those with you today. But I tell you guys, make sure you guys, if you're looking for a good read, make sure you pick up the Cigar Aficionado um, magazine. If you're looking to learn more about cigars and learn about all the businesses out there that put out cigars, and if you're looking for some good spirits to drink with your cigars, this is a good magazine to pick up. But there's just all kinds of ads in there for different spirits, whiskeys, scotches, rums, wines. And then, of course, they discuss and review a lot of cigars. But here's a cigar ad right here. And just really, really beautiful, colorful pages. And just a lot of great information. Of course, there's the article of James Hetfield in there. And I'm trying to find one of the pages where they review cigars here. Well, of course, there's the blackened advertisement for James Hetfield cigars that he teamed up with Drew Estate. And let's see here. There's some cigar reviews right there. So the highest rating they got is Padron 1964 Anniversary Series from Nicaragua. It's a 94 rating. So that's their top rated cigar. So anyway, just really interesting stuff in these magazines. So make sure you pick up Cigar Aficionado. There's other great magazines called Cigar Snob and Cigar Journal also you can pick up, but that's the one that I subscribe to. that I really enjoy reading. And if you guys are just starting out cigars, um, just get on YouTube and look at podcasts, and download podcasts about cigars. Listen to those. Listen to YouTube. There's a lot of great guys out there that can teach you a lot about cigars. And I listen to Cigar Authorities, Ash Holes, Cigars Daily. I listen to all those, and watch the stuff on YouTube and tune into their podcasts and listen to those. So Tim Swanson from Cigars Daily is who I learned a lot from in the beginning, and I still learn from him. But if you guys are starting out with smoking, make sure you guys have all the supplies you need. I carry Boveda packs for my different humidors. I carry extra butane for my lighters, and I started out with one of these little things here. It's a cigar travel case. This one holds about 15 to 20 cigars in it, but just nice and big. I can carry cigars in there, my lighters, my cutters, stuff like that. And but that's what I started out with. I've got 4 desktop humidors. I've got an electric humidor. So I've got probably at least around, I don't know, I'm thinking I've probably got at least around 300, probably 300 some cigars, maybe 400 cigars around there approximately. Some of them I'm aging for a later time. Some are for everyday smoke. And like I said, some are just for special occasions. I've got some for my guests if they come over as well. But and I don't know, guys. It's been a fun hobby. It's been a fun lifestyle, and I keep continuing to learn about cigars. But it's just nice to sit back for a couple hours and have a cigar and enjoy every moment of it, and to escape and just think about all the great things in my life that are going on. Those are the things I really enjoy doing when I smoke a cigar. And and again, I want to thank my brother Grant for the Zippo lighter he sent me. That was my dad's when he was in the Navy. And I'm glad I got it working again. And it worked really good with my cigar this time. The last time I used this on my last podcast, I used it. It was the very first time I've used it. And I've been kind of practicing with this more. So I'm kind of getting it down how these work. So really enjoying that. But some of the other lighters I've got a single torch lighter right there, just one little flame that comes out of it. And those are nice for really small little cigars, more inside, instead of outside. I've got this 2-torch flame lighter right there, and that's really good for kind of smaller cigars or cigars that I use inside. If I'm outside, I'll go more to maybe a 3-torch lighter right there, or a 4-torch. The 4-torch is really good if it's on a really windy day outside and I'm smoking outside. That the 4-torch works great. So a lot of different lighters that I carry. I already showed you my cutters, but I'll also keep this little tool around. If I got a cigar that's getting too hot, or if I got a really tight draw, I can poke this through the back of it, and I can punch it through the front to open up the leaves inside a little bit more so I can get a better draw, which I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate for you right now. And you just want to poke it all the way through the middle. You don't want to poke it out the side of it. But if you do that, you can open up that draw a little more. Now we get more airflow through that. So that's how that works. So I'll use that once in a while, but I've had cigars where you get some tar buildup in there, and it tastes terrible. And what happens, I guess, is if your cigar is burning too quick, you can get a tar buildup. And it's a real pasty, liquidy kind of stuff that you can get when you're smoking. through the butt that you've cut, or the cap. So if you poke a little hole, they recommend if you poke a little hole through the side of your cigar, let the airflow go through a little more. It'll cool it down, and the tar will go back down where you don't get that tar buildup. And then, of course, I carry one of these little screwdrivers around, or on my pocket. This is on a pocket knife, but I've got this little screwdriver. And sometimes these lighters, like this or like this, um, sometimes the flame might be too high or too low. And on the bottom of these, there's a little area in there where you can turn it to make your flame higher or lower. And of course, that's where you put your put your butane in as well. And I can demonstrate that real quick. But on this, um, if you want to put butane in these, all you do is you just, on the very bottom there, there's a little hole there. You just put that right in, press that down, and it will fill that up. This one's nice because it's got a window so I can see the level of butane in it. A lot of my lighters don't have that window, so I got to kind of guess how much I'm putting into it. So anyway, so make sure you carry plenty of butane. They come in 3 different sizes depending on what you're doing. But I got the bigger ones for my cigar lounge down here, but this one's for my traveling purposes. I can put that right inside of my cigar travel humidor, so that's real nice. But my Boveda packs, these bigger ones. I use the 72%. Those are for my desktop humidors. I usually use 2 to 3 in my humidor, and then I've got some smaller ones here that go inside my travel humidor. Um, Actually, this would be. Let me see here. Yeah, here we go. So anyway, so that size right there. This is a 8 gram. I'll use that inside my travel humidors. And then for my little tins like this of my little cigarellos, I will use this size right here. These little 69%, and these are 4 grams. So those go inside of my little tins of cigarellos. So anyway, so guys, when you're smoking, just make sure you have all your supplies that you need. Study YouTube, YouTube, and then look for podcasts. I've got an app on my phone that I can download podcasts on, and I'll download, or I'll listen to. I don't always have to download them, but I'll listen to podcasts about cigars. Cigar Authority is probably my favorite on my podcast that I listen to, as well as Ashholes. And there's books you can download if you've got an app on your phone to download books. Look for cigar books to download. You can get on Amazon and find books to download as well about cigars. But just always find ways to keep learning and keep educating yourself so your smoking experiences get better and better as time goes on. So, but yeah, guys, this has been great today. I've really been enjoying hanging out. Keep rocking, keep smoking, and I was going to tell you guys also, leave these bands on, enjoy these bands, but leave them on your cigars for a little bit. That way, if you take these off too soon, sometimes your cigar can fall apart on you because they're on there with a glue. So you want to wait until your cigar warms up enough to where that adhesive will come off easily for you. And right now, I'll go ahead and take this one off. But I just take them off very easily when I decide to. But there's the band more close up there to the cigar. Just a really pretty band. And the cigar box that I saw these come in looks just like this, really pretty like that. But anyway, yeah, leave those bands on there as long as you can to keep your cigar from cracking or falling apart. But yeah, when you guys smoke, just take some time, enjoy it, enjoy your time, and just reflect on all the great things in your life. And don't rush it. Just enjoy the experience. But you guys, again, you guys are very dear to my heart. I appreciate you guys being a part of the Harper Cigar Lounge family, and you are family to me. And I appreciate all of you that message me and keep in touch with me. And if you guys do, I'll always make sure I stay in touch with you as well. But make sure you keep staying in touch with me. Please make sure you do that, and just enjoy your time, with your cigars. But I hope you've enjoyed your time today with me. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've learned something today. And if you guys are new to the hard rock, heavy metal scene, the cigar scene, there's just so many resources out there that you can find to see what works for you for listening wise for music and cigars that you want to smoke. So, but if you get on Harper Cigar Lounge group page on Facebook, you'll see a lot of different advertisements for cigars. You'll see a lot of different things about the bands that are still touring out there. I got some history on. I got things up from bands that aren't around anymore as well. But just it's a lot of this is to bring back great memories for a lot of you that grew up in the '80s, '70s, '60s on. And a lot of it's for people that are just getting into hard rock, heavy metal. There's a lot of younger kids out there that are, I know, discovering the hard rock, heavy metal music, and it'll give you an idea of what's really good out there to listen to. And then you can search up these bands and singers and decide who you want to listen to. And for cigars, you can discover a lot of different cigars out there that maybe you can go look for and see what you enjoy smoking. So, but check that out, and keep watching my YouTube page under Harper Cigar Lounge, and go through all the episodes and watch them and learn. There's a lot of different tips I've put out on there, so check those out and everything. So, but guys, I don't know how much more this will change on the cigar. I got a little bit to smoke still, but the flavor notes are still staying about the same. A lot of floral, pepper, um, some chocolates, definitely, and some earth cedar type of taste notes to me as well. So, but overall, pretty good cigar, guys. I recommend it. I'm probably going to say still, I'm going to keep it at a rating of 91 overall, I think. But it's had great ash, great construction, great aroma, great taste, and it hasn't fallen apart on me or anything. So overall, just a really good, enjoyable cigar to smoke. Um, I've got one more in my humidor, but I'll save that for another time, and I'll wait for a special occasion to smoke that one, I think. But I'm glad I could smoke this today with you guys and hang out again. And again, thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you've had a great time. Hope you've been able to relax and kick back and relax and enjoy yourself with me today. But anyway, I'll try to get episode 12 up as soon as I can. It'll probably be a couple weeks, like I said, but I'll let you guys know when that's going to be up. I'll keep you up to date. But again, thank you guys for everything. Without you, none of this would be possible. And you guys have been great. And again, thank you all that have been keeping in touch with me. And I look forward to continue to keeping in touch with you guys. But yeah, keep in touch, keep messaging me, and ask me any questions you want. I'll give you all the best answers I can on anything I know about with cigars or music. And again, guys, keep rocking, and go out there and support those bands that are still going. Support them, go to their shows, buy their albums. Keep showing that support they'll want to be around for a while still. There's so many bands that are leaving us more every day, but there's so many bands also that want to keep going, and there's some younger bands that are out there that are still um, learning about the music business, and they're continuing to make music, and hopefully they'll keep the torch going for all of us and for all of the younger people out there that are just now getting into hard rock, heavy metal. But anyway, so a lot of great bands out there still to go see. So make sure you do that, and just look up bands on the internet and look up tour dates, and the internet will usually show you any tour dates that they've got. So So, but yeah, like I said, keep rocking, keep those fists pumped in the air, support those bands, go see their shows, buy their merchandise, buy the albums, support them in any way you can, and of course, pass on to your friends and family that let them know about what you're into and what you like, and maybe you'll pass on some great stuff to them. So that will make a difference in their life as well. So, but anyway, God bless, guys, and keep smoking, keep rocking, and cheers to you guys. Cheers. You guys have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week that's starting up. And God bless you guys. And I'll see you guys real soon. So bye bye now.